Hello again. The long-awaited phone call between President Cyril Ramaphosa and his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky has finally happened. That's over a month after Ramaphosa spoke to Russia's Vladimir Putin. Well, let's talk more about this call with Liubov Abravitova. She's Ukraine's ambassador to South Africa. Ambassador, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Well, finally, the telephone call between your president and South Africa's president has happened. In your view, just overall first, how useful was this telephone call between the two leaders?
I agree with you that this call was long awaited, and I can tell you definitely that this call is very important, and I believe it's important for both sides.
It's a very important call for both sides, and it seems from the tweets that I've seen both of President Zelensky and President Ramaphosa, they covered quite a number of issues, and with President Zelensky highlighting the fact that he spoke to Ramaphosa about Ukraine's resistance to Russian aggression, among other things.
Yes, exactly. Of course, this was one of the key issues that we wanted to discuss. We wanted to brief His Excellency on the latest developments in Ukraine regarding the Russian aggression and Russian invasion and the humanitarian situation and economical consequences that are coming out today because of this aggression.
Yes, and one of them is what President Zelensky in his tweet says is a threat of a global food crisis.
Exactly.
So what about the relations between the two countries? Because President Zelensky says he would like to deepen the relations with the Republic of South Africa. What does that mean?
It's a very good question, and thank you for raising it. Why, among others issues, the call is very important at this time is because we didn't have any engagements on this highest political level for many, many years. And I'm not speaking about 10 years, it's longer. So we now are trying to build this bridge, and I really hope that this is the first but not the last call between our presidents. And of course, we are expecting to deepen relations both with South Africa and with the African continent, as my president wrote in his Twitter.
Yes, and you say it's the first time at such high level there has been this kind of discussions. Just wondering, why has it taken so long? You are present here as ambassador to South Africa, for example, and South Africa has an ambassador, an embassy in Kiev.
Yeah, there must be some substance to any discussion. And what we've been working already for 30 years, because we, as we discussed before with you, we are quite young democracies. We are 30 years old as Ukraine, and we are still building a lot of our trade and economic, scientific, educational, and of course political relations with many countries in the world. And building the substance is very important in order to have these dialogues. We did have the very first in many years, again, call between the ministers of foreign affairs of Ukraine and South Africa last year. So this was the preparatory call for the discussion between the presidents. Unfortunately, today we find ourselves organizing this call with both difficulties internally in South Africa, and again, my condolences on what is happening in KwaZulu-Natal and the war of Russia in Ukraine. And of course, this causes the technical difficulties in organizing this call, but they were planned, and it was on our roadmap of bilateral relations before the invasion started.
Okay, back to the tweets about this telephone call. President Ramaphosa, for example, tweeting that the leaders agreed. He says, "We agree," and I'm reading it now, "on the need for a negotiated end to the conflict that's currently underway." Talks-wise, negotiation-wise, what's the latest you can share with our viewers, Ambassador, between Ukraine and Russia? Where is the negotiation process at today?
During the latest negotiations, Ukraine clearly announced that we need a very strong and consistent approach of all the partners that will want to become a guarantors of Ukrainian national security and territorial integrity in the future. So we need a guarantees and package of guarantees from Russia today. And Russia today is not the media of Russia. I mean, we need different international partners to provide Ukraine with guarantees for the future that Russia will never again invade Ukraine. And we are committed to the diplomatic and continued diplomatic solution of the conflict. So we are calling on Russia. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Do you see a role for South Africa in that negotiated settlement? We've heard before President Ramaphosa offering South Africa's services.
I definitely see that if such an engagement as a new treaty or agreement on providing Ukraine with guarantees for its security is coming out, I'm sure it will be opened for any country of the world to join it. And of course, I will see the place for South Africa there.
Yeah, and then finally, Ambassador, on the ground, the human cost, I mean, tragic human cost that we've seen in terms of this war. How bad is the situation now? I mean, we keep on hearing now and again about missile attacks against certain targets. Just the other day, I read a story about missile attack near Lviv, which is towards the border with Poland.
Yes, we lost 7 civilians during this attack in Lviv. And those atrocities that already are watched by international human rights organizations, they are bringing a lot of countries to that stage when they are declaring these crimes as the genocide against Ukraine made by Russia. Just a couple of hours ago, I received information from my colleague in Estonia, from the ambassador of Ukraine in Estonia, that this country was the first one that in the parliament recognized these crimes as a genocide. And I'm sure that we have to see a lot of other countries following the same approach. We are now praying for our people in Mariupol, and we are grateful for our militaries who are still resistant there, even though Russians are trying to play their disinformation and their propaganda and to say that the city is taken by Russians. It is not. We are still resistant there, and I hope the city will stand.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Liubov Abravitova. She's, of course, the ambassador of Ukraine.